It's the NPSL playoffs here in Rio Verde, California. We are glad you are with us here for this one. It's FC Arizona hosting XF Crossfire. And with that being said, we say hello and welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Glad you're with us here for this one. Alongside me, Harrison Haas and Chase Beardsley, I'm Joseph Furtado. And Chase, this should be a pretty exciting matchup here between these two teams who haven't met in the playoffs now and haven't met at all this season, but we have one goaltender coming back today so far, and that's Donovan Parisian, which should be a big help back there for FC Arizona.
Oh, absolutely. Under him and net, they went so great. They had a great beginning of the season. And then once the halfway mark hit, kind of like the sophomore slump hit, the team fell kind of in the standings, and they haven't been the same ever since Donovan Parisian left, and they've been really missing him. And so they brought him back, and here he is.
This is an FC Arizona team right now who has been struggling in the back end in the second half of this season. They started out 5-0, but ever since then, losing the last 3 games. So looking to get back and change things tonight, but having to do it in the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing you got to get is scoring. That's something they really struggled with. That and their goalkeeping. Now, with Parisian back in net, hopefully they'll go back to their beginning of the season ways.
Well, let's take a look at the breakdown here between these two teams right now, between FC Arizona and XF Crossfire. FC Arizona coming into this game, 5 wins on the season, lined up against the Crossfire Redmond team who has 7. Only 2 losses, though, which were for Crossfire, only 1 tie. 39 goals for, though, Chase, for Crossfire Red, a really good team up front on the offense.
I mean, a big reason why they have so many goals for is their last win in the season, a 13-0 win in their final regular season game against OSA Seattle FC. That was an impressive win by them, really boosting goals for, and that's why you see a goals for 39. You subtract those 13, and it's not as bad as you think. FC Arizona just really needs to go back to their goal-scoring ways like we saw in the beginning of the season. They need someone like Marco Alfonso to really step up tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of Marco Alfonso, let's take a look at Marco Alfonso and what he's done so far. He's played 9 games so far this season, has 7 goals, but talking about he started this season really hot, but then's gone cold from there.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that he's playing with injury. He has struggled quite a bit, and it looks like something around his ankle has been bothering him. We'll see if he can get back to his ways. We remember he was on a scoring streak here in Campo Verde High and throughout the beginning of the season.
Marco Alfonso's been so good, and then also just something else to look for, too, though. Donovan Parisian coming in, like I said, hasn't played a game since June 3rd. That's been the last game he has played this season. And having a 3-0-1 record, been very good. 3-0 playing at home, has 1 clean sheet, but hasn't won a game since May 30th.
He's a goalkeeper that they play well under. I mean, he makes the saves that he has to, and if he doesn't make a save, he makes an even bigger one to make up for what he's done. We'll see what he can do. He was training with a college team for the past couple of weeks. However, with the playoff game in mind, he's been called back, and now here he is, and we'll see him make his guest appearance.
And with that being said, we're going to send it downstairs to the 3rd member of our team in Mahirson. Hassan Mahir, what do you got for us? Well, thank you for that, Mahir. As we are underway now in play, it is FC Arizona and XF Crossfire. Opening kickoff, and this is going to be played back onto the outside. This is a FC Arizona team coming into this game at 5-3-2 on the season, lined up against a Crossfire Redmond team who's 7-2-1 on the year.
I mean, if you're FC Arizona, you want to have a great start. That's something they really thrived with when they were in their winning ways in the beginning of the season. That's something they need to do here. They need to score goals right here in the beginning, make an impact, and never stop looking back. Here is a throw-in by FC Arizona as This is a Crossfire team that has been really good, as Joe mentioned, 7-2-1. You have a lot of great goal scorers on this team. 13-0 win, as we mentioned, and they were 15th overall in the whole league, so a very impressive Crossfire team. FC Arizona is going to throw it in here. There's going to be a flag right there.
Yeah, the goaltenders, though, tonight here for XF Crossfire, going with Jackson Osborne and Donovan Parisian for FC Arizona. But a chance right now, though, Chase, to look at these two teams and the match history between them. And right now, FC Arizona against Redmond, 0-1-2. They have not won a game. The first game they met back in 2022 was a 1-1 draw, but the loss coming was back again on the road on July 16th. So a year ago yesterday, they lost in a 4-0 loss on the road.
And this team has been a thorn in FC Arizona's side. We remember a couple years ago, they did squander FC Arizona's playoff hopes. This is a team that has been dangerous against FC Arizona, and FC Arizona yet to win a game for a while against them. They look to break that drought here tonight. Again, you really hope that the return of Donovan Parisian really helps here. He was training with a college team. You want to make sure that he's ready. And we'll see if he is ready for this playoff game for FC Arizona.
Yeah, and take a look, too, at the starting XI here for FC Arizona. Going to roll the way back on to Osborne. He's going to boot this one all the way back on out. This is a Crossfire Red team who hasn't played much on the road this season. Only played 2 games on the road, going 0-1-1, looking for their first road win of the season. Meanwhile, though, for FC Arizona at home, they're 3-1-1. This is a team who's coming off of a draw in their final regular season game of the season against San Ramon FC. They surrendered a goal in the 87th minute, and a team who was struggling the second half of this season, Chase. And they've gone 0-3-2, giving up 8 goals in those games.
Yeah, and you got to understand, this was an FC Arizona team that squeaked into that #1 spot in their conference/division. It was close towards the end with their losing ways / tying ways, and really, you want to make sure you don't have that here.
Yeah, and a chance to look at right now here the Southwest Conference standings. Just like you said, Chase, like the 3-way tie right there. You can see FC Arizona on top, all tied right there. Las Vegas, California Odyssey, 17 points each, but FC Arizona was able to sneak in due to goal differential.
Yeah, and it's
it
was a tight one.
Yeah, there's some played back to the front, a good block that time. It's going to be a corner awarded to Crossfire. Good chance in front, Parisian there, able to get a touch, and that one's pushed aside.
And like you said, we want to see that return of Parisian. That first half, Parisian really got him into a spot where they were really top in the league, and then once he left, they kind of fell to the mid-tier standings, and that's not what you really want if you're FC Arizona. Again, very close to squeak in for that #1 spot. Came the goal differential, and they managed to get the #1 overall spot.
Here's a cross. That one pushed back onto the inside, now knocked away. I come all the way back on out, and that one goes out of play for a throw-in. Another chance here to look at the keys to the game, though, here for FC Arizona. One of the things, though, Chase, we've been talking about, the goaltending obviously needed to get ironed out, but now you have Donovan Parisian, who's coming in to replace Derek Hatcher. Defense, though, has been kind of shaky so far now, especially in the back end, giving up 12 goals right now in the last 7 games. And as well, just trying to finish off those scoring chances. One thing to note, though, Marco Alfonso right now on a 5-game scoring drought. He's going to be the one that has to get going tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, that's not what you want from your best player on that team. He really came in that first half, was a monster, was a beast here, scored a lot of goals, and then ever since that first half, again, it just dropped off. We know he has a nagging injury. We hope, if you're an FC Arizona fan, that he has recovered from that, but we'll see if he can get things started off here for his home team.
Rolled all the way back on through. Alfonso trying to get it, and that one's going to run all the way back on out for another throw-in here this time for Crossfire. Here's a long toss ahead. This one's going to come all the way back down again. Another throw in here for FC Arizona.
And for Crossfire, someone that you want to look out for is River Stewart. He was tied for first in the team with goals. He also picked up a goal last week versus Seattle. He's wearing 21 tonight. We'll see what he can do for his Crossfire Redmond as they try to win their first away game.
Crossfire Redmond playing in the Northwest Conference. Picked up a 7-2-1 record, 26 goals so far in that division. They held up first place, 17 against. They're 15th in the league in the NPSL against FC Arizona, who is 34th in the league. And just like you said, Chase, just barely sneaking in. The winner of this game will go on to the NPSL West Region Finals on July 22nd next week. That'll be in the Bay Area, either in Napa or San Francisco, depending on who wins that game tomorrow.
Those are some good teams that are playing tomorrow, and it's a good team that FC Arizona is playing today. I mean, even though you have a lower record than XF Crossfire, you got to understand that these are two different schedules that they had. Seattle, not one of the best teams in the league. Meanwhile, FC Arizona, I mean, they played Vegas and California Odyssey, some of the best teams in the league, some really good teams that tied with FC Arizona for the first spot. But again, goal differential really saved this team.
Yeah, FC Arizona, really good first half team for them, especially defensively. They've only given up one goal in the first half, and that came against the Lions United when they suffered that 3-1 loss. Back here at home at Campo Verde High School, they have 8 goals to show for in the first half, and they're lined up against a team in Crossfire who's put up 22 goals in the first half and only given up 7 against. So they're going to have their work cut out for them here tonight.
The other thing you really like here if you're FC Arizona is that they are all-time this season 3-1-1 at home. They've been really good in Campo Verde High School. They got a whole crowd showing up tonight. We'll see what they can do.
Crossfire coming into this game, coming off a big 13-0 win in their final regular season game of the season against OSA Seattle FC. The team has not given up a goal in the last 2 games and have scored 19 goals total in just 3 games. So like I said, that offense is just continuing to roll, and we'll see how that'll line up against this FC Arizona defense.
And again, like, you gotta mention the strengthened schedule. Of course, FC Arizona playing Ferrito in their last couple of games, some of the toughest teams up in Northern California. I would have to say FC Arizona fared well against them, especially with their new goaltender, Derek Hatcher, in net, and he hasn't been the best. Meanwhile, Donovan Parisian comes into this game. He was the one that led this team to a terrific start. We'll see how they play in front of him. So far, Parisian's been great when he's needed. The 2 teams are really trying to figure each other out right now.
Yeah, FC Arizona right now riding a 3-game losing streak. They're 0-3-2 in their last 5 games. And for Crossfire, things been pretty good, though. Riding a 3-game winning streak and 3-2-0 in their last 5. So looking to add to the 7-2-1 record. Here's a ball that just comes outside the top of the box and goes just too far that time for Richard Amon. This one blasted all the way back on down. Now the run for the ball.
Back there, that was a good play by FC Arizona to break the Crossfire play up. Something I really noticed so far about this Crossfire team, they're willing to dig into the dirty areas, slide in to get balls and pass balls. Something that maybe we haven't seen a lot in FC Arizona's conference. Our team's doing that, but it's playoffs. It's a whole different beast. You're going to do whatever you can to win a game.
This one played now again over the top, and it's going to fall that time right in the hands of Donovan Parisian. Hasn't been too busy so far here today. 11-minute mark right now between these 2 teams. Glad you're with us here on FC Arizona YouTube Live alongside Chase Beardsley. I'm Joseph Furtado. Saturday night here at Campo Verde High School. Now, one of the things, though, too, Chase, we've been talking about here for this game is the weather right now for this game. A nice 115 degrees here, and a team, I guess you could say, in Crossfire, not too used to playing in heat like this.
Well, it's a scorcher out. I'll be honest with you, Joe. It's definitely going to impact a lot of things here. First off, the turf. It's going to be hot. when you're sliding on it, it's going to hurt more than usual. Like you mentioned, Crossfire not really used to that. We'll see how they play in the weather. And it's gotten a little bit cooler now that's the evening, and that's probably why it became a 7:30 start time for this match. But 115 degrees, that is very hot.
Yeah, Crossfire, like we just talking about, not playing very much on the road, and they traveled a little over 1,000 miles to get here, 1,161 miles from high school to high school where they play at to get here right in Arizona. So traveled a long way to play some soccer here tonight and playing in this heat that feels like 122.
I'm sure FC Arizona is both thankful and, interested to see how Crossfire does, as their last playoff game that was supposed to be played last week, the team forfeited that match, declined to come to Arizona and Campo Verde High School, so FC Arizona advanced due to technicality.
Yeah, that was California Odyssey, who was supposed to play just last weekend in the first round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, couldn't make it, so FC Arizona getting the bid for the second round here. Some played back on out wide, and good defense that time from FC Arizona, but the ball going to be slipped all the way on out. Now they'll get the ball right back.
Not a lot of A-grade chances so far, but again, these two teams really feeling each other out. They have not played each other this season, so they really want to make sure how each other plays and then strike when they have to and are willing to. We'll see what Crossfire has up their sleeves. As we mentioned, they are a high-powered offensive team, but they have played lower tier seeds.
This one sent back over the top that time by Chavez and just goes too far that time, and going to be followed up here by Redmond. Giving on back. Chavez. Here on the 1-2.
I really like those moves by Chavez, faking out the ball a couple times. And really good offensive play by him.
So now we're going to see a throw in here for FC Arizona. Creeping up on that 15-minute mark here. So Chavez going to throw this one back in. The service to the inside comes back away, falls all the way back down, and a chance here for Red to make a run.
Something else that's interesting about this Crossfire team, they're fast.
Yeah,
they're
they are.
super fast.
This one dropped in, that one offside. Eamon able to slide that one in behind, but the flag goes up on the far side.
Yeah, but look at Donovan Parisian already making acrobatic saves when he doesn't have to. That's something you'll see a lot with Parisian. He makes those nice saves using the flexibility of his body. And again, he is the best goalkeeper on this FCAZ team. It's why they started out so well and started losing when he left.
Yeah, Donovan Parisian went on to leave and ended up going back to play some college ball. Now returning here in the postseason, and a giveaway maybe, and that one just blasted away that time by Jackson Osborne. Speaking of Jackson Osborne, a 7-2-1 record so far this season, has 2 clean sheets and has given up 17 goals again. Has started every game so far this season for Crossfire and has back-to-back clean sheets.
Something that's interesting, Joe, is that we didn't know Parisian was going to start until today. I wonder if XF Crossfire knew the same thing and they were preparing for Derek Hatcher. Could be an idea why they're still trying to figure Parisian out.
Yeah, Eamon that time gets bumped, knocked down, so the foul and the advantage played here for Crossfire.
Something else that we got to talk about, Joe, Alejandro Aguilar getting his team all the way here in his first ever season. I mean, that's really good for a coach in the NPSL in his first season. You want to see how good your team can be, and he's really brought it all for this team.
Yeah, trying to turn his team around too, Chase, because just how good they started out this season, like we talked about, starting out with a 5-0 record, one of the best starts in program history. But then, like I said, in a little bit of a slump here in the second half of the season and going 0-3-2 in the last 5 games to finish their regular season.
Absolutely. I mean, again, defensive plays mainly all in their own zone is what they've really struggled with. And of course, we mentioned Marco Alfonso not playing his best soccer. He needs to pick it up here in the playoffs. Again, nagging injury. We don't know if it's still affecting him.
Yeah, Marco Alfonso, who was dealing with that ankle injury. So here's a ball pushed back in, headed down that time on the wall of FC Arizona. Played on back, and now this one played on through. Gonna fall right here into the legs of Iovino. Quick 1-2 and the touch on back here for Tariq Salama. Only goal of the season for Tariq Salama was scored against Sacramento Gold FC in just their second game of the regular season right here at Campo Verde. Hasn't scored since.
There's a lot of players on this team that have not scored since the early days of the season. Gabe Walters is another one.
Here's Eamon. Gonna cut to the inside. Rolls one back across the field. Gets it right on back off his right foot, Eamon. Here's a service back onto the middle, and good defense that time from FC Arizona to clear that one away. Headed back down now, Eric Howard will follow up here. Lays it back down low here for Soto. And that one's going to roll too far that time out of play.
So far, I would argue that Crossfire has had the better opening first half. They've gotten a lot of shots against FC Arizona. Meanwhile, FC Arizona not really in their own zone yet. Official shots right now, Joe, 1-0. Obviously, Crossfire leading that category. And really, even with that one-shot, Parisian hasn't been tested, but you want to get those shots early.
So again, this is going to be a throw-in here for FC Arizona, just like you're talking about, Chase. Haven't had too much pressure so far. As it comes all the way back on out here for Uche Uzo. The Nigerian slides this one back across. Salama try to roll this one back on through and get it behind the D that time, but Howard ready for it, and he'll take it away. FC Arizona looking for a handball, but the ball followed up this time, looking for the opportunity that time, and knocked down in the box. FC Arizona looking for a handball that time. Fans not too happy that time, looking for a foul as well, but nothing to come from that.
Yeah, I mean, any chance you have to argue anything, that's what you want. This is playoffs. You really got to argue your way to anything, even if it's not fair.
So the goal kick here for Osborne to send this one down the field, headed away. Uche Uzo follows up, and now FC Arizona trying to move it ahead. Chavez. They get that one back out to the far wing. So far, just 20 minutes of play here gone by, and Chase, like we've been talking about, one of the keys we thought to the game was get Marco Alfonso involved, but he hasn't been too involved so far here in this first half.
Yeah, I feel like you got to kind of wait. He usually strikes when the time's right, which is later in the second half, but really, again, you want to get as many shots as you can in this first half, and FC Arizona has just not accomplished that yet.
So another throw in here for FC Arizona. Again, Uche Uzo as it plays it on back. Salama comes out wide now again here for Chavez. Alfonso going to throw this one right back on towards the middle. FC Arizona trying to set something up here. Here is Chavez. Quick touch. Gets this one back on over the top. Trying to play that one through. That one's blocked. Follow-up chance again. That one's blasted back out. Again, the fans not too happy with the calls from the officials. So Uche Uzo gonna send this pass all the way back on over to the far side of the field, and now FCAZ trying to get started here.
And something I'll say about FCAZ is that
There's a cross gonna fall here for Alfonso. Here's a shot, score! A 1-0 lead. What a strike from way out. Marco Alfonso opens the scoring.
welcome back, Mr. Alfonso. Drought over. His first goal in 5 games. You really want to see that out of your star player. Look at Marco Alfonso there, getting the clutch goal, first goal of the playoff game, first goal of the playoffs. That's what you want from your clutch player.
Yeah, and just talking about Marco Alfonso again on the screen, playing in his 10th game so far this season. Now has his 8th goal in snapping chase, that 5-game scoring drought. Someone who hasn't scored since June 3rd now opens the scoring. And this is an FC Arizona team right now. Chase, when they score the first goal, they are 5-2-2 on the season.
I mean, your players that you really want to show up in the playoffs have showed up in the first 22 minutes. Parisian making save that he has to be. And then look at Mr. Alfonso getting the goal that he needs to. And he breaks the drought. And you hope this is only the beginning if you're an FC Arizona fan.
Yeah, but also, too, to note from that, though, and FC Arizona, though, has scored the first goal in the last 3 games. They're 0-2-1. So still a lot of game to be played left here. Coming up on the half-an-hour mark as Marco Alfonso breaks the tie and scores a 1-0 lead here for FC Arizona. And what a shot that was from FC Arizona, or rather from Marco Alfonso. His 8th of the season. He scored in every home game except one this season. That was back against the Lions United. The only game he hasn't scored in a home match.
Exactly. I mean, you want to build on this lead, and that's something that FC Arizona has failed to do this season. You want to keep building and building and scoring, not sliding back and becoming and having defensive lapse. Another note about Marco Alfonso, I mean, he scored in every home game except one. This will not be the second one.
Yeah, and two, just to talk about Chase, a team right now who hasn't scored very much in the first half. That was the 9th goal of the first half for FC Arizona.
I mean, that's, again, this is the playoff opening that you want, so just keep building on it. You got to score key goals, and Marco Alfonso has done so. You want more of the players on this roster, or even Marco Alfonso, to keep scoring.
So it'll be a goal kick here for Donovan Parisian. You have to think, though, Chase, this team has really missed Donovan Parisian, the play he's had so far during the regular season, just the 4 games he's played.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why they called him back, and that's because he was so good. And again, credit to Alejandro Aguilar, really getting the best out of his players. And there's Marco Alfonso. There's Donovan Parisian, really coming in clutch for this team.
So it'll be a corner kick here for FC Arizona. This one comes back in off the leg of Iavino, and that one played away.
One last thing about that goal, Joe. I mean, you heard the crowd roar. The crowd is really into it today. Almost looks like a packed place here for Campo Verde High School and FC Arizona, which is really what you want. You want to continue with this run that this team has had. I mean, a magical first half of the season, and they're hoping for a magical playoff run this season as well.
So Osborne able to boot this one back out. He just gave up his 18th goal here of the season. That was only the 8th goal in the first half that Crossfire has given up. And now playing from behind, a team who's really not used to playing from behind too much. Crossfire Redmond with a 7-2-1 record.
I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak up to this point. They're not used to playing behind. So it goes to our sideline reporter, Mahir. But if you're Coach Aguilar, you really want to push your team. You do not want them to start becoming defensive liabilities. And that's what has happened in the past with FC Arizona. They've been known to squander goals late in the second half or even in the first half. They have to keep building, and that's something they struggled with, and that's something that Coach Aguilar has said they've wanted to work on. We'll see if it pays off tonight.
Coming up on the half-an-hour mark, glad you're joining us here on FC Arizona YouTube Live alongside Chase Beardsley and Mahir Sinhasan. Down along the sideline, I'm Joseph Furtado. Glad you're with us here for this one. Round number 2 here of the NPSL soccer playoffs.
It's weird saying that because they did not play round 1, but as we mentioned, Joe, that did get canceled due to California Odyssey forfeit.
Yeah, and FC Arizona was able to move into the second playoff game, but a nice stop there that time from Donovan Parisian, and quickly gets it out. Here's a touch ahead, trying to get that one back on for Chavez. Played away now off the chest. Followed up here this time by Eric Howard.
And those plays that Donovan Parisian just did, those are moments that FC Arizona has really struggled with. And again, Parisian just really acrobatic with the way he stops the ball. We'll see if he can continue it, and that's something that FC Arizona really wants, especially because they brought him back.
Here's a cross that time off the left foot, and Parisian is going to stop that one with his right, and he'll pick it back up and play and hang on to it. Donovan Parisian, who made his making his return tonight and hasn't played a game with FC Arizona since May 13th. That was the last game he played, which is against the Las Vegas Legends right here at home, and that was a 2-2 draw in that game.
That was a tough game. I remember that game, Joe. It was against one of the top teams in their conference, so very understandable that it definitely wasn't Parisian's fault that they tied that game, but hearing that is the potential that FC Arizona has to combat these top-tier teams, to be one of the top teams in the league. They just got to play back to that level that they had before.
Yeah, and just continue to go off. But we're going to have a water break right now, so that's going to give us a chance to step aside here. We're back in a moment after this.
And we are back, FC Arizona, with Crossfire Richmond in their first playoff game of the season. My name is Chase Beardsley alongside Joseph Furtado and Mahir on the sideline report. Welcome to Campo Verde High School if you are just joining us. Scores 1-0, Marco Alfonso scoring the go-ahead goal so far. 32 minutes in we are now as we see the pitch in FC Arizona making some good defensive plays here. Here is Ruiz for FC Arizona kicking it forward. He's got an FC Arizona player ahead, kick, and it's going to go just over the net. A good chance by FC Arizona with that one as the ball just soars right over, but after the 15-minute mark, really, of this match, FC Arizona has been playing some really good soccer. Of course, the Alfonso goal, putting them ahead 1-0. This is a good team that they are playing. As we mentioned, scoring 13 goals in their final regular season game. Crossfire did 7-2-1 and 15th overall in the league. This is a good team, so they are not used to being down this early, especially as we mentioned, Alejandro Aguilar for FC Arizona. You really want to push your team to score more goals, and that's something they really struggled with. They've scored one and not really much after, as they have been on a losing streak of 3 in the regular season, but they're up 1-0 here. Here is FC Arizona in the mid-pitch, being tripped up here. 2 players getting tripped up. Crossfire is really trying to get that ball back, but ref comes in. Trying to see what FC Arizona player is down right now. As he gets back up. That was Justin Provenzano. He picked up a goal in the last home game versus Las Vegas. One offensive player of the year for ASU under Coach Aguilar. Obviously, Coach Aguilar, when hired to take over FC Arizona's team, he brought in some of his ASU guys as FC Arizona starts their attack again in the mid-pitch. Provenzano passed over. And here's Crossfire. Uche Uzo's going to pick up that ball. Another great player for this club. Really defensive-minded player and has made a lot of great defensive plays for this club, and they're not really the same without him. And you can say it the same as the ball goes to the other player. They're not really the same without. That's Donovan Parisian, of course, coming back. This match, they really needed him, especially after a 3-game losing skid. But they are still 3-1-1 here at Campo Verde High. It's Crossfire coming up. It's number 7. Here's Howard. Howard passing it to his teammate. Over. Crossfire coming in, putting on some moves, and trying to take the shot. But defensive plays by FC Arizona cancel that out, and they start their own attack. Here is a FC Arizona Marco Alfonso coming up almost solely by himself. Here's Alfonso putting on some nice moves. Here's an open shot. And there's a save by Crossfire's goalkeeper. That's Jackson Osborne making the save on Marco Alfonso, who has really been one of the best players for this FC Arizona team as the ball is launched back into FCAZ's end of the pitch. Here is FCAZ. Here's some good moves by Crossfire. Passing it around. Their defenders. Try and get something going here. Hoping to form an attack and a goal to match FC Arizona's early chances. 37 minutes in. Here is Crossfire. A shot. And goes just wide of Parisian in his net. As we mentioned, FC Arizona and Crossfire have had different paths coming here tonight. Of course, losing skid for FC Arizona, winning streak for Crossfire. Oddly enough, the team with the losing skid, right now is up 1-0. Again, Marco Alfonso scoring that goal. Here's FC Arizona trying to get the ball in the mid-pitch.
So here comes Crossfire Redmond. This one going to play back in towards the middle, and that one pushed away out of the box. Glad you're with us here on FC Arizona YouTube Live alongside Chase Beardsley. I'm Joseph Furtado, Mahirson Hawson downstairs along the sideline. Hard collision that time in front. We're going to see the first booking here of the night and a yellow card. That's going to go against Richard Amon.
And it's not what you want to see if you're FC Arizona. Of course, you want the penalty, but there's the yellow card. Richard Amon picked up a goal last week versus Seattle. And Amon has been one of the best offensive players as well for this Crossfire team. Yellow card isn't usually a good sign.
Yeah, he gets the booking and now playing on a yellow card. So first yellow card here of the night. And it goes against Crossfire Redmond. If you're just joining us here on FC Arizona YouTube Live. A 1-0 lead here for FC Arizona, courtesy of Marco Alfonso, who broke his 5-game scoring drought.
Again, maybe it's the Parisian after effect. Ever since he left, Alfonso, scoring drought, and now he comes back, and Alfonso comes back with him.
Yeah, Marco Alfonso, who picked up his 8th goal now of the season. FC Arizona 5-2-2 when they scored the first goal so far this year. But just in their last 3 games, when they scored the first goal, they were 0-2-1. And that's one of the things, though, Chase, we have been talking about, is this team who has struggled to close out games, especially in the later stages of a game. We see them a couple times get scored on the 80th minute mark, 87th minute mark, in just their last regular season game of the season against Napa. So a team who has been struggling to score goals, or rather keep goals out of their net in the final minutes of the game.
Well, it's not just the final minutes of the game, but it's also the final minutes of the first half as well. We've seen them really struggle when it comes to really keeping that lead, and that's what's really driven them down to a 5-3-2 record. I mean, goalkeeping obviously hasn't been the best since Parisian left, and Hatcher had to perform under high circumstances and high pressure as well. And I mean, the rest of this team, they really dried up offensively, usually only scoring at least 1 goal or less throughout the past couple of games. And again, Marco Alfonso breaking a 5-game drought tonight. It's not what you want from your star player to be scoreless within 5 games, but he's come back in the biggest moment of the season so far for FCAZ.
And two, just going off that right now, coming closer to the end here of this first half, 42nd minute mark right now, and a chance to go into the locker room with that 1-0 lead. So it's like one of the things we've been talking about. You want to go into the locker room with the lead. You want to play with the lead and, trying to close out this half. And a team who, FC Arizona, who's been good so far in the first half of the regular season. They've only given up 1 goal in the regular season. They went 6 games without giving up a goal so far in the regular season until they played the Lions United. That was the only goal they gave up in the first half of the season, but now you're in the playoffs, a chance to do that and go into the locker room with the lead.
Yeah, I mean, you want to maintain at least the lead for the first half. Get your guys pumped up for the second half. Hopefully spark some enthusiasm and confidence and keep scoring some goals.
It's a nice move played in from Atondo, and flag goes up for an offside call.
Yeah, clear offsides there. I mean, unfortunate for FCAZ as they had a player rushing for the ball and could have had a good opportunity there.
So this is played on the far side of the pitch and dropped all the way back here for number 30 in Jackson Osborne. Been a very good goaltender so far this season, Osborne, for Redmond has only given up 18 goals so far in the season, sporting a 7-2-1 record, and FC Arizona snapping that 2-game clean sheet streak that he's been riding coming into this game.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. No goals allowed in the past 2 games, including the 13-0 thumping of Seattle. Then comes into this game, the first half, already gives up 1 goal. He's hoping not to allow a second.
Some played back on here to the middle, off the chest that time. So here's Uche Uzo. Strong left foot plays this one all the way back down the field and in some space. Here is Salama stepping over the top. Being pressed in tight that time by Tyler John. 2 defenders boxing him out, and the ball is going to come back out here for an FC Arizona throw-in.
And that's something you like from Uche Uzo if you're FC Arizona. Like, he has a very powerful kick to send the ball all the way to the other side of the pitch. It's very impressive and can really set up a great goal with that kick.
So here comes Crossfire. Zamora racing back in. He's going to take this one back on down the side, and he is edged off that time nicely by Uche Uzo. Uche Uzo sporting that one of the more interesting numbers here in soccer, wearing the 116, and all in that of remembrance of his brother. One of his favorite numbers, and got the clearance to wear 116, and such a fantastic story here for Uche Uzo.
You don't really see a lot of triple-digit numbers in sports, so very interesting and very awesome to hear the backstory and how he's supporting that whole history behind him.
This one's going to roll all the way back on down and going to roll out of play. But yeah, Uche Uzo, like I said, wearing that number 116, the 116, and his brother, who unfortunately passing away, and was able to get the clearance like we talked about from the NPSL, and FC Arizona having the opportunity to wear that number. But here is Parisian. He's going to send this one all the way back on down. Here comes the run here from FC Arizona, played behind the back, and that's just going to go too far and roll right into Osborne. Sent back on off the leg of Diop. Here is Amon playing on a yellow card right now. Gives it right back on up here to James Morris. Slides it across. A turnover that time. Morris trying to get in now. Racing back in here. Soto. Soto peels back. Gives it on up now. Soto again trying to clip that one back in. Goes off the head of Zamora. And going to be a throw-in again here for FC Arizona.
And there's that powerful kick by Uzo, getting it out of his own end. 46 minutes past now. First half almost ready to end.
Yeah, only a few minutes here of stoppage time. We'll see how much is given, as now this is picked up and played all the way down the field, but stopped right in the tracks by Diop. Now here's Soto again. So knocked back down, and now Amon again will play it. Throws it all the way back down and going to bounce all the way for a goal kick here for FC Arizona.
Yeah, and we're rapidly heading towards the final seconds of the first half. And FC Arizona, probably their strongest first half in a very, very long time since the last game with Donovan Parisian. They've been playing some good offensive structure, and even defensively, although they've allowed some shots early on in the first half, since then they've really shorted up.
Here's a good ball played in now. Amon going to take his chance, and he scores! Richard Amon levels the score here. At one apiece just before the end of the first half.
And there's that last-minute goal that FC Arizona is known to give up, and that's something you don't want if you're FC Arizona. You can't continually let those goals in, and this is what always costs them the win. They are always not the best in the last couple of minutes of whatever half they play in, and that's just another example of the poor play that they've been known to play with in either the latter minutes of the first half or the second half.
So that is the 4th goal of the year from Richard Amon. Rather, James Morris is the one who scores. So that's going to do it to close out the first half. And now we're level at one apiece. And like we talked about, Chase, it's something that FC Arizona did not want to do, and that was giving up a goal right at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and James Morris scores his 5th of the whole season. He was tied for 2nd on the team, and now here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the ending that FC Arizona is used to, letting goals in the final couple of seconds. I can't stress this enough. It's been the kryptonite of FC Arizona. And it was definitely not Parisian's fault. He was in good position, but they let him go in on a breakaway, and not a fantastic ending for FC AZ, even with a strong, I would say, middle first half, with Marco Afonso scoring the goal for FC Arizona.
Yeah, and just like we talk about, though, at least one of the more positive things, though, here to look at here for this team is Ben Marco Afonso, though, finally snapping that 5-game scoring streak and now finally getting on the board here. He answered the first goal of the game here for FC Arizona, but now you're going into the second half right now, and this is where things we're going to have to answer for this team. Like I said, they've given up 17 goals in the second half, or rather 12 in the second half. So we're going to see what type of team are we going to get, the team we saw in the first half of the year or the team we saw in the second half of the year.
I mean, something that we saw in both halves is FC Arizona's terrible play in the last minutes of either the first or the second half. They can't do that if they want to win this game, and something that really, in my mind, has hampered them this whole season. And now that it seems to be in the playoffs, I feel like FC Arizona fans are scared to see what they have in the second half, even if they take a lead in that second half, what's going to happen in the final minutes.
Yeah, in Redmond, they've scored 17 goals in the second half, so one of the better second half teams, and we're just talking about FC Arizona, a team who gives up a lot of goals in the second half, like I said. So defense versus offense, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a dangerous Crossfire team. This is a Crossfire team, again, as we mentioned, has been a thorn in FC Arizona's past, and now, even with Parisian in net, they still can't break that habit of letting goals in the final couple minutes.
Well, yeah, this is a team in FC Arizona who has not beaten Cross Redmond at all so far in their times that they have played. So 0-2-1 all time, but the second half is coming up next.
All right, guys, you guys can all come into the broadcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Campo Verde High School for the NPSL West Regional Semifinals between your FC Arizona as they host Crossfire Red. It is halftime and 1-1 between the two teams. I'm Mahirson Hassan, joined by Thomas Coltrane, Ryan Pesesnik, and Richard Gonzalez. Thanks for tuning in on this Saturday night. And we talked about it before we went on, guys. It felt like a playoff atmosphere. You have the crowd, you have the intensity on the pitch, and it's truly showing out on the Saturday night.
It's really anyone's match here. I don't know who's going to come out on top, but it's a great atmosphere here.
It absolutely is. I mean, you have both teams that are going at it right now, fighting for their playoff lives, trying to see which team is going to advance into the next round, and it's been a fun matchup up to this point.
As they said, it has been an action-packed game, and there's just no way of telling who's going to come out on top, but can't wait to see what goes on.
Now let's take a look at the recap of it. You have 2 goals, from starting off in the 22nd minute where Marcos Afonso added his 8th goal of the 2023 campaign for FC Arizona, but right before the halftime whistle, it was Crossfire Red getting a goal back. Richard Amon, the one to do so. Guys, the temperature has gone down today. It started around 115 degrees at the high. Now it's cooling off. But nonetheless, this hot weather is still here. It's Gilbert, Arizona, where FC Arizona has the advantage over a team like Crossfire Red from the Seattle area. What do you expect to see from the second half from both sides?
I think it's important. You said FC Arizona has that advantage playing here already. I expect to see them come out fierce and just ready to play after half.
I expect, intensive play on both ends of the field for sure. In that first half, actually, FC Arizona had around 6 shots on goal. Of course, with the one capped off by Marco Alfonso, while Crossfire FC had around 10 shots on goal, of course, with the 1 goal that was being scored. I would probably say expect both teams to be aggressive on both ends of the floor and maybe look for those wide open shots, especially if you're attacking on the side of the wing, and it should be a fun matchup to certainly see that.
Hey guys, it might have cooled down in Gilbert, Arizona, but I think the game is only starting to heat up, so it's only going to get hotter, faster, more action-packed from now on.
I would totally agree with you, Richard. And just to get a little preface on what's going on, rather what happened last year between these two teams, right here actually in the West Regional Semifinals. Now that game was up in Redmond, Washington, but Crossfire Red won that on a score of 4-0, ended up going to the NPSL final before they lost to Motown. Now FC Arizona wants to get to that spot, get to the West Regional Final, which will be in the Bay Area next week against either El Farolito or Napa Valley 1839 SC. Sure to be a great half, and guys, we've seen a lot of great players on the pitch. Who do you want to see show out for both teams?
I love watching goalie play, so I'm going to expect them to keep the shots coming and keep stopping them.
Yeah, Parisian has been money tonight. He's come up with a few crucial saves, especially when Crossfire Red had some really good looks. But I also look at the man himself, Marco Alfonso. He has been one of the heart and souls of this FC Arizona team, and I really look for him to keep on getting it going just continually down the stretch.
I don't think it's going to be a one-man show. It's going to take a group effort from FC Arizona and from both teams to go ahead and see who's going to come out on top.
Now, the other thing to note about offense and about goals, Crossfire Red has been a great team in doing so with 3.9 goals per game this season. That is the highest average goals per game in the NPSL. On the other side, FC Arizona with only 1.9. Can FC Arizona change the tide, get the revenge against Crossfire Red, or do the NPSL finalists from last year advance to the West Regional Final? We've got a few minutes or so for a break, 3 minutes to be exact. Chase Beersley and Joseph Furtado will be back on the call for the second half right here from Campo Verde High School.
Welcome back, everyone, here to the start of the second half between FC Arizona and Crossfire Redmond. Glad you're with us alongside Chase Beardsley. I'm Joseph Furtado. And Chase, let's go take a look back real quick right now here. The last game that these two teams have played right now, okay, in the last to end the regular season.
On your feet for the second half. The score stands FC Arizona 1, Crossfire Redmond 1.
Time to look at FC Arizona in their last game against San Ramon. Just like we talk about FC Arizona, Gabriel Waters scoring in the 80th minute mark, and then Carrasco in the 87th minute mark. We talk about, again, this team who was struggling to give up goals at the end of halves, and we just saw it again with more scoring just to level the score 1-1, and this team has been struggling to do that.
Well, I mean, Joe, it's simple. Don't give up goals in the latter minutes of the game. Do not blow it. That's as simple as it gets. I mean, obviously, you don't want to have goals scored against you, period. But especially in the last minute, they've been prone to do that. It's not just that last game. It's been almost every game of the season. That needs to stop if you want to win this game and travel to the Bay.
Yeah, and then the time to look at the Crossfire in their last game, and just looking at what they did. XF Crossfire with the huge 13-0 win against OSA Seattle. And what a win that was for XF Crossfire. Now they're playing on the road here. That's how they got here in the second round here of the playoffs. A chance to look at, again, the who to watch between these two teams. And Chase, like I said, these have been two of the best players, one for FC Arizona, then also for XF Crossfire. Marco Afonso, again, these two teams, a nice look in comparison between these two teams. Marco Afonso now up to 8 goals. Meanwhile, for Rienzi, he has 5 coming into tonight's game. So we are just about underway. Kickoff right now. In a 1-1 game, Marco Afonso, who opened the scoring in the first half, but then quickly followed up in the back end that time by Morris for Crossfire Redmond.
And another player you need to watch out for is Donovan Parisian. He has been known to make really great saves after save, and that's something they really need, especially if we head into the final minutes tied up.
Here is Uche Uzo going to boot this one all the way back on down. It's going to fall right here for Osborne. Comparing these two teams by half, in FC Arizona, who has 11 goals so far, they've scored in the second half of the regular season. Meanwhile, for XF Crossfire, they've picked up 17. They've given up 10 goals, though, have Crossfire. Meanwhile, FC Arizona has given up 11. So these two teams pretty much equal in terms of play in the second half. We're going to see who's going to come out on top. We've already seen one yellow card awarded already to Eamon early on, and a nice challenge that was played behind the play. And going to come out to play it this time was Jackson Osborne. Tips that one back away, and now the throw-in here going to be awarded to FC Arizona. Iavino. This one played all the way back in, quick touch on back. And this one going to be thrown back and out of play. So another throw in here for FC Arizona, and Jays have to think, though, between these two teams in the first half, Redmond kind of had the better end of the play in the first.
Well, I think with Redmond, they had the best first 10 minutes and the best last 10 minutes. In the middle, it was all FC Arizona. They had a lot of good opportunities. They had the goal by Marco Afonso, and then, like they've been prone to do, slowly bled away the lead.
Yeah, and what a strike that was, though, from Marco Afonso. And mistakes have seemed to be the thing that have hurt this FC Arizona team. And one of the things we talked about, again, during the keys of the game is this defense has needed to tighten up. And like we talk about just in the back end of halves, they've continued to let goals in. And like Morris struck late in that first half, just at the end of stoppage time to end the first.
Well, it's another reason why they brought back Donovan Parisian, to have more solid goaltending in net.
Here's a push in the back, and that's going to be a free kick awarded here for FC Arizona. Just at the edge of the box.
And this could easily get into a heated match here between these two teams. These two teams already do not like each other. Obviously, we've mentioned their past. But, man, it's definitely getting heated here in the second half, and it definitely can take a whole new turn coming forward.
Yeah, Crossfire, one of the more physical teams. It seems to be a team that's FC Arizona, who hasn't played at all this regular season. This is the first meeting between these two teams, and FC Arizona looking for their first win against Crossfire Redmond. They're 0-1-2 all-time against them. So Marco Alfonso lined up right now, and with Garcia, Lorenzo Garcia, to take the cross, and that's blocked that time by the wall off the set piece, and now it's pushed all the way back on in, headed away.
I like the plan there. Kind of fake kick, but the defensive structure of Crossfire really came into play there, and really strong effort.
Gosa Rienzi going to play this one down the field, and picked up here by Parisian, who has given up his first goal since May 13th. Trying again over the top, but good defense lined up by the Crossfire Redmond defense. Crossfire so far have only played 2 games on the road this season. They've netted 5 goals, 4 and 6 against. So a team who hasn't played great on the road. They're looking for their first road win of the season.
There's a substitution lined up for FC Arizona, about to come into the game.
Here's a ball played in behind the back, and good defense that time from Uche Uzo to knock that one away, but the flag goes up as well.
Very good defensive play by Uche Uzu. Very, very good play.
Cam, who's number 3? FC Arizona, can I see your thing? Or is it 8? Is that 8?
That's Corey Ramsey coming into the game, substituting.
Yeah, first substitute here of the evening. So Corey Ramsey comes back on. The first substitution of the night here for FC Arizona. That time as Lex Chavez comes out. Throw in here for the Redmond, headed back down. Comes out here for River Stewart. Has that one gunned away, and now FC Arizona plays one back onto the right side. Trying to look over the top of that one, but a good touch and pressed away. I see another foul against FC Arizona, so the ball awarded to Crossfire.
We're at the 51-minute mark now, and not a lot of events in this second half so far. Again, you have roughly around 40 more minutes plus extra playing time. This is going to be a tight match heading into what could be either the last game for FC Arizona this season or the gateway to the Bay.
So this one thrown back up and now taken on here by Tariq Salama. And that one blasted back on out. So the throw in here from Zamora. Played off the chest that time there of Stewart. And again, another foul here, so it's going to be Arizona's ball right now. See Uche Uzo to play it right back on in. Settling here is FC Arizona. Nice move by Salama, that time on the cutback.
That was a pretty good pass as well between the legs.
Yeah, great build up here for FC Arizona, and that time well defended by Redmond, and they'll come back out. 2 players down behind the play right now. One for FC Arizona and one for Crossfire. Looks like Cesar Marino for FC Arizona. Number 14, Tyler John.
See good sportsmanship between these two teams. Everyone's checking on Moreno, making sure he's okay. Trainer came onto the pitch, but I don't think she'll be needed. Kind of looked like maybe near the ankle or the shin where he was grabbing. But it looks like he'll just shake it off and continue play. I mean, Cesar Moreno, he scored his first goal of the season was the game-winning goal. And he was a substitute in the game against Oakland. Remember that game, and that was a wild game. 2 goals this season for Moreno.
So here's Uche Uzo to start this one back on in, and the play so far, Chase, been pretty much even so far here in the second half of play.
Yeah, I think huge reason for that has been Uche Uzo. He's made some really good defensive plays so far in the second half that I've really liked personally, including stopping a goal right near Parisian. And I think a stat we haven't shined the spotlight on is that Parisian hasn't lost a game yet.
Here comes Stewart, the cross back in. That time it's fired home, and just like that, XF Crossfire has their first lead of the evening. Comes off the leg that time of River Stewart in a 2-1 lead.
And that was a goal that you could see a mile away about to happen. Just FC Arizona caught in a defensive lapse right there, and some great passing from Crossfire. And they managed to put that goal past Parisian.
And a crowd silence here in this one. Now FC Arizona trails 2-1. Crossfire now playing with their first lead here of the night.
I mean, luckily, that goal was scored early on in the second half, so you can try to build yourself back up. You have time to score another goal, and FC Arizona really hopes that something shines through. Maybe Marco Alfonso, another heroic goal, or Kyle Benjamin, who has been known to score those late-minute goals as well. You want someone to show up right now, and if not right now, somewhat before the game stoppage time.
So here is Uche Uzo in the head that time. Knocked away and looking to find it here with Stewart. Going to come back on down here for Osborne. You know, one of the things here, though, Chase, we do look at, just looking at the game right now, FC Arizona's been trying a lot of long balls over the top, and they just don't seem to be clicking right now here with those long stretches, trying to stretch the field of play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to start something, and during the second half, they haven't really started anything. Not a lot of great chances so far for FC Arizona, and you got to start early on. I'm sure Coach Aguilar is down there getting mad at his team for really not really having a great game plan in Crossfire's zone so far.
Yeah, and a giveaway here from Orduno, and now running the other way with it here is Casa Rienzi. And a nice break up that time, but it's given right back on here for Morris. Sends it on back now here for Colello. Gonna clip this one back in, across into the box, knocked away, and now it's gonna be ran down here by Redmond.
And the thing here is that FC Arizona is just letting players come into their own zone just unguarded. And that's the whole reason why they're down by 1.
Yeah, FC Arizona, we were talking about how good this team is when they score the first goal during the season. They were 5-2-2, but in the last 3 games, they're 0-2-1, and here's a nice ball that's played out wide. Try to drop it in behind. Looking to cross this one back on. Top of the box, they'll give it right back up. Looking for the shot that time, but it's broken up. Better opportunity that time for FC Arizona, but it sails wide.
Good setup play, but you got to have someone kick the ball and not put it in the middle, because that's where Crossfire's defenders are going to be, and that's what happened there. Looks like we're going to have some substitutes.
Yeah, some more substitutions being made here for FC Arizona.
Substitution for FC Arizona, number 11, Kyle Benjamin.
So Kyle Benjamin come into the game right now.
Substitution for FC Arizona, number 20, Alenga Masunji.
Kyle Benjamin is known for his late game heroics. We remember his goal, his game-winning goal. I believe that was against California Odyssey or Oakland, the final couple of minutes during a match early on in the season. Very heroic, and he shows up clutch. He's one of those players that Coach Aguilar has brought onto this team and has been clutch for him.
Yeah, Alejandro Aguilar using 2 more of his substitutions here in the start of this second half, as we are at the hour mark now in this one. 30 minutes to go, and now 2 more substitutions now, but Kyle Benjamin, who hasn't scored since May 20th, that was against California Odyssey, has had 1 game winner so far this year. He comes into the match with 3 goals.
I mean, if you're Coach Aguilar, you got to put all your guys out there. It can't always be Marco Alfonso scoring all the goals all the time. You got to have other players scoring. Kyle Benjamin is probably the closest player to being that second scorer on the team. And there's going to be a substitute for Crossfire as well.
Orduno gives it away. Now here for Salama. Try to play that one down the sideline and away, and now it's going to be another throw in here for Crossfire, but we're going to get a substitution right now for Crossfire now as Adati comes in.
Give me the roster. Substitution for Crossfire Redmond, number 10, Hamza Hayoumi.
Now Zamora. Trying to play this one back in. This could be dangerous, and now it's going to be scooped up here by Donovan Parisian.
Again, they're just letting the Crossfire players just run right by them in front of them, and they leave them unguarded, and that does not bode well.
Yeah, FC Arizona, who so far coming up empty to start this second half. Haven't had too many scoring chances. Uche Uzo turns the ball back on over here. Trying to work it on through and taken down. Got tangled up in front with the challenge that time from Casarienzi, the team's leading scorer.
I mean, despite all the successful defensive plays that Uzo has made, that was not a good giveaway at all. That could have been dangerous right here.
And again, and racing back into cover that time is Casarienzi. So now here comes FC Arizona with a run of their own the other way. Laid out wide for Alfonso, sends this one right back on down. The cross going to come right back in. Back post that time, and it's lofted up in the air and cleared off the line. Good scoring chance that time, and now finally the whistle.
Best chance so far this second half for FC Arizona. The man there in front of the net just could not get anything there. And the ball somehow gets behind the goalkeeper, but no one is there to kick it in to the wide empty net, and we play on with Crossfire up 2-1. Coach Aguilar was not very happy down there. He was shouting something to his players.
Yeah, trying to get his offense going. And FC Arizona, who has 11 goals to show in the second half of the season. They've given up 1 in the first right now and 1 in the second. If you're just joining us here on FC Arizona YouTube Live, glad you're with us alongside Chase Beardsley, Harrison Hostin downstairs. I'm Joseph Hurtado. Glad you are with us. So here is FC Arizona once again. Salama standing over this one off his left foot, going to drop it on back. Plays just at the edge of the box and looking for some room right now on the quick 2-1, and now it's punched out.
Some really good passing plays there by FC Arizona. Again, these past couple of minutes have been FC Arizona's best in the second half.
And we see a challenger that time from Kyle Benjamin getting in the way with Tyler John. You can start to see the urgency a little bit more here from FC Arizona. They know they're down. Here's a cross again, that time into the box, and going to be pushed away from Donovan Parisian, and he's knocked down, but gets it up and hangs on.
Again, like, you can't have defensive lapses like that. You can't let the defenders, you can't let the Crossfire forwards get in front of your FC Arizona defenders, and felt like that's what's been happening in this second half. Even with the solid couple of minutes FC Arizona has had up till now.
So Alfonso plays it on back, and now Uche Uzo from Parisian. Marco Alfonso, who scored the game's opening goal after snapping a 5-game scoring streak, and right now FC Arizona trailing for the first time here tonight. Comes back out to midfield, headed back down, and now here comes Eamon. It's going to blast it on right back into the chest, and held on to that time by Donovan Parisian.
Solid save there by Parisian.
Kyle Benjamin, quick touch now on the exchange with Alfonso. Gets it away from John. Musso Gucci now, and quick takeaway here from FC Arizona to keep it back in play. Here's a long ball sent down the field and in some space, and now here comes FC Arizona. Good defense that time from Crossfire to punch that one back on out.
Yeah, no, great setup there by FC Arizona to get something going, but, you know, it was good long pass before that.
Salama going to send it on back, quick touch. Salama now bending this ball right back in. That's knocked away that time by John. It's going to fall right back in the air, headed back down again. Salama trying to nudge this one back, and it's finally punched all the way back on down the field. .68th minute mark right now, a 2-1 lead here for Crossfire Redmond, coming into this game at 7-2-1, lined up against FC Arizona, the 34th ranked team in the NPSL. FC Arizona 5-3-2 on the year to finish the regular season. This is a Crossfire team who finished atop of their conference in the Northwest Conference standings. 19 points to finish the year. That's how they got here in the second round. Winner of this game will move on to play in the Bay Area next week against Napa or El Farolito.
That will be decided tomorrow. That's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, these two teams will see. The winner of this game, though, will have to be crowned first. Now here's a ball again off the edge. Here comes FC Arizona. Can they get to it? Try to cross that one into the middle, and it bounces right back on to Jackson Osborne.
Really like that passing play by FC Arizona to get all the way to the front of the net. Just nothing they can do there. Great defensive play by Crossfire to kind of close in and stop that ball from going anywhere. Here they come again, FC Arizona. They've had a good couple of minutes, really getting some great shots, and that's Coach Aguilar really trying to get whatever he can out of this team to climb back into this game.
So here's Uzo. Spreads this one back on out wide. Time for Duno, and now it played back into the middle.
There's some substitutes lined up for Coach Aguilar. He's just trying to get some fresh bodies out on that pitch and, again, get whatever he can out of everyone on this team. And it's not just Marco Afonso or Kyle Benjamin. He's trying to get something out of everyone.
Yeah,
Trying to see.
Season on the line right now in the final 20 minutes of play, and you're down 2-1.
He's trying to get unlikely hero or something.
Yeah, now a chance here to get some more substitutions as Brian Aceves comes back in. And Justin Provenzano coming in as well. So now we have the two ASU players out there right now.
Justin Provenzano has had a pretty decent couple of home games, including picking up a goal in game against Vegas at home. And again, Offensive Player of the Year for ASU. Coach Aguilar hopes he can show why he was awarded that tonight.
Yeah, Justin Provenzano, only one goal, though, in the regular season. And Coach Aguilar trying to get his team going right now, down 2-1.
He's doing whatever he can, playing fresh bodies, trying to get something going. You can see him constantly yelling from the sideline. I mean, he's just trying to do whatever it takes to at least tie this game up and see what happens.
This one crossed back in towards the middle, punched down that time by Parisian and laid back on out, and jumped on here this time by Soto.
That was a bold save by Parisian, really coming out of there and just punching it away. And he punched it away on top of a bunch of players too.
Now Salama again has Muso Gucci to his left. Instead, going to drive this one back on down the field, and coming out aggressively to get to it is Jackson Osborne, who then sends it back down the field. Amen. Settling things down right now here for Crossfire. They had the last two goals so far here in this game.
This FC Arizona team really wants this crowd back into it. It's been silenced ever since that second goal by Crossfire.
Yeah, we'll see here now. They have the good drop ball here on the back. This one's going to be lined up from range, and a nice save that time from Osborne to knock that one away. But a corner kick to come here for FC Arizona, and a good quality scoring chance. Probably the best chance they've had so far here in the second.
Extremely good diving midair save by Osborne. Hopefully FC Arizona can get something out of this, but definitely their best chance of the game. Again, great passing by this team.
So right now the corner to come for FC Arizona. Marco Afonso going to drive this one back in. That one headed over the top.
I don't know whose head that hit, but that was, if it was FC Arizona, that was way too powerful to do anything with. And a dodged bullet by Crossfire, as FC Arizona really had two great chances there to tuck one home, but nothing reflecting on the scoreboard as of yet in the second half for them.
Close quality scoring chance and getting closer and closer here to the final 10 minutes here of this game. So sent back down the field. Gets away from Uzo and comes back to Parisian, who now has to play it out to his right.
Very risky move by Parisian, but paid off as FC Arizona tries to reshape their offense.
Yeah, they've been starting to find a couple good passes here now. This one sent back ahead, running over top in some space again. Alfonso dropping off. Here's a shot that time, it was blocked. Seen some really good defense here from Crossfire here tonight. Looking for an option now. Trying to cross this one back in, and that one sent back away.
No one really there to boldly try to play that ball.
That came off the leg that time of Brian Aceves, and now we're going to get a whistle here for a water break. And a chance to welcome you here inside the broadcast booth. And alongside Chase Beardsley, I'm Joseph Furtado. Glad you're with us here for this one. But Chase, FC Arizona down 2-1, but starting to find a little more scoring chances as this game goes on in the second.
Yeah, it's kind of like the first half. The middle of the second half has really belonged to FC Arizona. A lot of good chances like that last one that we saw, and a really good diving midair save by Osborne for Crossfire. I mean, if you're FC Arizona, just keep doing that, but sustain more pressure and have more people in front of the net. You might get something here, and that's what you really want to do, down 2-1.
Well, right now, FC Arizona's down 2-1, and we're going to step aside here in just a moment. A water break for these two teams.
Substitution for Crossfire Redmond, number 25, Connor Losey.
Welcome back here on FC Arizona YouTube Live from Campo Verde High School between FC Arizona and Crossfire Redmond. Alongside Chase Beardsley, I'm Joseph Furtado. Mahir Hassan downstairs along the sideline. Glad you are with us here for this one. A 2-1 lead right now here for Crossfire Redmond.
I mean, FC Arizona has been doing a great job getting some offensive chances, and I feel like, except for some lone here and there moments, they've been great defensively, but We'll see what they got in store for the final around 15-ish minutes left in their last home game of the season. No matter if they win or lose, we'll see what they have up their sleeve.
Yeah, Christian Soto Rincon with the last goal here for Crossfire Redmond. Time starting to wind down here on FC Arizona season. 79th minute mark. Now we're going to see some more substitutions right now here for FC Arizona. Gene Takuri going to come in, as well as Rory King.
Substitution for Crossfire Redmond, number 2, Rory King.
Again, you're putting out any fresh body if you're Coach Alejandro Aguilar. You want something to get sparked with this FC Arizona squad as time is dying down, and you don't want this great season to end.
Yeah, Gabe Waters subs out, so coming on the 80th minute mark now here. We'll see how much stoppage time is awarded. FC Arizona's given up a goal in each half so far right now, and they opened up the scoring, and this team Chase, who started out so hot during the regular season, went out to a 5-0 start, but the last back end of this season, they've been struggling, going 0-3-2.
Well, I think this has been their best game probably since that midway point through that season. I mean, obviously Parisian has been really great, and Marco Afonso breaking his drought. But again, you got to have everyone try to pitch in, and I think in the second half, especially for the past 10-ish minutes, and I think it's been somewhat happening, but you got to put the ball in the net, and they have yet to do so. And it looks like here's some news. Uche Uzo now playing as a forward. Very interesting here.
And he's going to try to run this one back on down, and goes off his foot and right back on here for Osborne.
Very interesting move by Coach Aguilar, putting him as forward as they desperately try to get something going. And we'll see what he can do. Has played defense basically for the whole season, and now he's a forward. Maybe they're looking for that strength that he has to put the ball past the goalkeeper.
Yeah, FC Arizona typically runs in formation of 4-3-3. Here's a good chance, maybe coming off the right foot of Afonso. Try to slide it to the right. Rather, Provenzano, excuse me.
Super nice pass by Uzo already to get it to Provenzano and almost have that great marquee chance.
See right now the impact already being made by Uche Uzo, starting to push the pace a little bit up front for FC Arizona. That one goes right to the legs of Corey Ramsey, and now it's going to be a throw-in awarded here for Crossfire.
Not
going to pick it up, and he's in no hurry right now to get to it.
Not a good, ideal thing here for FC Arizona. And something also interesting, seems like they're playing a new structure of 4-1-2. Of course, Uche Uzo moved as forward. We'll see what happens here.
So Donovan Parisian going to boot this one all the way back on down and look to fall that time for Uche Uzo, but instead headed back on out of play. So a throw-in to come here for Arizona. Down the line here for Uche Uzo, and Uzo that time dispossessed and now cleared back down.
Maybe another reason why they put Uzo as forward is that he is a very big player, and he's been known to muscle off guys that are trying to defend him.
Yeah, trying to get that long ball again that time for Uche Uzo, and he was knocked down, got tangled up in front that time. Looks like he was tangled up with Tyler John. This one sent all the way back on down. Come down to the final minutes here, 83rd minute mark. Depending on how much stoppage time we have season on the line right now for FC Arizona, trailing right now by 1.
I mean, they are really trying here. They're trying new strategies. They're putting players in different positions. They're trying everything, substitutes, you name it. Anything to spark something within this team.
Orduno trying to slide this one back in off his left foot. That one's knocked away, headed back down again. Uzo trying to find it, now looking to run over the top. A good chance again. Now it's knocked down. The rebound came back out and followed up again. Great quality opportunity that time for FC Arizona. The chances are starting to come a little bit here as this game rolling on, but how many more chances do they have until this game comes to a close as Parisian plays that one away?
And 7 minutes excluding extra time here. You need those chances. That was probably one of their best chances of the whole game, and nothing came of it.
Nice touch, and now here comes the run the other way. Orduno trying to get into it, and now it's sent back on down the field, and going to be settled out here by the defense of Arizona. Muso Gucci running out of time, has to give it up. Arizona trying to advance. It goes right through the legs that time, though, of Uche Uzo.
Very unfortunate, and I feel like Uzo has been well so far as a forward. I feel like he's made some great passes, and really, that was the first really con so far. And looks like we're going to have some more crossfire substitutes.
Yeah, this one's sent all the way back on down, going to fall there, and comes off the left leg, and now going to be a throw in here for FC Arizona, but we're going to see some more substitutions right now here for Crossfire Redmond. Sam Dolan going to come in, as well as Tino Colello. So two of the brothers on this team, and Paulo Colello, and as well as Tino Colello.
Crossfire, I mean, they're putting on fresh bodies to really protect the lead that they have, and they need anyone with a fresh body to keep on track with the FC Arizona offensive group that is still running pretty fast and getting some good chances here late in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a strong push from FC Arizona. It feels like in the last 10 or so minutes. But right now, time winding down, and going to be a free kick here for Howard. Going to take this one off his left foot, and no rush right now as he'll drive this one back in, and it's going to be caught that time in the hands of Parisian. Quickly gets it out. Muso Gucci has to turn back for it. Slides it out to his left. Here comes FC Arizona. Quick drop back on. Here they come with some room and space. Try to slide it back for Uche Uzo, who was knocked down. Going to be another free kick awarded here for FC Arizona. 87th minute mark.
You want to set this up as quickly as possible and not kill as much time.
Do they have a late one of their own here?
They've been known to give up late goals. We'll see if they can score one.
Haven't capitalized on a set piece, but this is going to be their second one right now. Aceves and now Alfonso standing side by side right now. Here's a shot. That time is turned away. Got through the wall off the left leg of Alfonso, and a nice stop that time by Jackson Osborne. He's had to make a couple good saves so far here in this second half. Blasted back up in the air, and it's going to fall down in front. Alfonso shags it back down and sent back out for a throw-in. It's going to be another throw-in here for Redmond right now, and coming down to the 88th minute more, 88th minute. We'll see how much stoppage time we do have. Winner of this game will move on to play in the Bay Area next week against San Francisco or Napa Valley. So now Muso Gucci running with it, trying to cut it back. Disrupted that time by Redmond. Out they come now. Here is Soto. Looking, spreads the ball out wide for King, calling for it. King now tries to service back in off the right foot. That's going to come back out now here for a corner kick for Crossfire.
There are no rush to hurry up with this corner kick as, again, nice 2-1 lead they have. Could capitalize for a 3-1 lead potentially here.
So they're going to take this one short. Soto, then King, and that one's blocked by that left leg of Muso Gucci. So King now to throw it right back on in. And has that one knocked away. So this time it's going to come back out for a throw-in for FC Arizona. Now Afonso. So another yellow card shown that time, and it's shown to Christian Soto. Comes down here for Uche Uzo. Being pressed backwards that time. Advantage going to be played here for FC Arizona.
They're really rushing it here as they're running out of time.
Yeah, now down to the 90-minute mark. We'll see how much stoppage time we have. This one played back in. That time it's headed away. Season on the line here for FC Arizona. We're now in stoppage time right now. So it'll be a corner to come. This one lifted right back in. The follow-up chance, and it's saved again that time by Osborne.
Very close one there. A lot of bodies in front of that net. Clock stops. It looks like there's injury on the field for a Crossfire player. And there was a whole lot of players right near him trying to head that ball either towards or away from the net, and casualty here.
Yeah, that was, looks like it's Tyler John right now down on the pitch. So while the trainers tend to him, we're going to step aside. So Osborne back with control right now, so should see probably about 2, maybe 3 minutes of stoppage time awarded. FC Arizona, their season on the line. They got to hurry right now.
The clock isn't running. Pause right now, and there's a card.
Yeah, another yellow card awarded. That's the 3rd yellow card of the game. Another caution here. So 3 Redmond players right now playing on cautions. So Alfonso and Aceves now going to take this kick.
Looks like some arguments with the refs.
Yeah, trying to figure some things out right now, yes.
The Crossfire coach doesn't look too happy either.
So here comes the kick, and it come all the way back on down, and that's caught. Right in the hands that time of Jackson Osborne.
Ball's going to head back towards FC Arizona's zone. Need to get towards the other side.
Yeah, trying to hurry right now and kept alive, and now running back the other way. Lofty gives it right back in control, and now it comes back to Parisian. Going to boot it all the way back on down. FC Arizona trying to hurry right now and quickly get this ball ahead. They can't find it in front. It's knocked away. Quick touch ahead now. Played on in for Uche Uzo. Trying to get something going here, and now Alfonso pressed off the ball. That time by Sam Dolan.
It looks like another card. Red card here. And Crossfire's shown a red card.
Yeah, Crossfire showing the red card now, so they're going to be down a man here for just about what feels like probably just seconds left of this game. An opportunity right now here for FC Arizona, and can they take advantage? This one lifted back onto the far post and shut down that time by the goaltender and Jackson Osborne. Rather Burn, excuse me, as Tyler John comes out of the game. This one booted all the way back on down by Osborne. Fueled here by FC Arizona. Clipped all the way back into the air. And now here comes Crossfire. Back out the other way here by King. King looking. Being tracked that time by 3 FC Arizona players. It's going to be awarded for Arizona. They throw it in to goalkeeper Donovan Parisian. Now it comes Muso Gucci, stretching the play back on down. Here comes FC Arizona, one last chance. They have it here, trying to cross it in. Again, it comes back out for Uche Uzo. Uzo top of the box and try to take it, had it blocked. Provenzano following up. Muso Gucci now. Trying to lift it inside. Now the quick drop back again. That one's blocked in front again. It's cleared out away. And that is going to do it here for this one. Full time, final score 2-1. Crossfire Redmond pick up their first win of the season on the road. A 2-1 win here over FC Arizona. And that's going to end the season here for FC Arizona.
And they just cannot get anything going in that past the goalkeeper in that second half. They really struggled to do anything past Osborne. You know, there were some great opportunities, but that's going to do it for FC Arizona's season.
Yeah, a tough way to go out for FC Arizona. And what a game it was. They started out with the opening goal the way they wanted to start out, Chase, and scoring the first goal of the game with Marco Alfonso, but then giving up 2 straight after that.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, honestly, besides, you know, it was a good effort put forward by FC Arizona. They just were outmatched by Jackson Osborne. He played a really good game, especially in the last couple 10 minutes. Made some really, really good saves, and FC Arizona, again, struggled offensively. Seemed like this whole season, like no one really could score besides Marco Alfonso.
Yeah, and then 2 straight for FC, or rather for Crossfire Redmond, and it was Christian Soto who added the last goal here in the game in the second half to win it, but what a season it was for FC Arizona. But just speaking of that, though, Chase, as we say hello and welcome you here inside the broadcast booth. But this team, they started out so hot at the beginning of the season. They went out to a 5-0 record, but then after that, 0-3-2, and then you come into the playoffs again, and it continues to seem the bad start of that second half again, keeping the show, and then they're going to lose in this game.
I mean, this is the 6th straight game that either ended in a tie or resulted in a loss for FC Arizona, and just a really good first half of the season. Everyone really coming together, and Marco Alfonso especially putting on such a hot streak, and Donovan Parisian putting on a hot streak goalkeeping-wise, and it just all fell apart once Parisian left. Alfonso got injured. It just all fell apart, and even though this was probably their best game since that midpoint of the season, it was too far, too little, too late, and just could not be Crossfire's goalkeeper.
Yeah, FC Arizona, they started out on a five-game winning streak, and arguably the best start to franchise history for this organization, and then finishing the season on a 4-game losing streak.
I think some pros here. Obviously, Coach Aguilar, what a season for him. He proved that he's just not a club, like a college club soccer coach. He's also a pro soccer coach. He's a really good coach. He gets the most out of his players, and he knows how to build a winning team. Secondly, Donovan Parisian, we're not sure if he's going to return to this pitch next season, as he's tested out with some colleges in Southern California. You wonder if he's back, but he had a brilliant season. And Marco Alfonso, what a season for him to remember. I mean, scored the lone goal of the game for FC Arizona. Terrific season. You just want to keep building on that. And it leaves a lot of questions for next season, but at the same time, it leaves a lot of hope, especially if Coach Aguilar returns, and especially if Marco Alfonso returns as well.
Well, FC Arizona, that's going to do it for them on the season, finishing at 5-4-2 on the year. And with that being said, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in with us all season long here in this one. Stay tuned. The post-game show is coming up next with the guys. But for Chase Beardsley, I'm Joseph Furtado saying so long, and thank you for joining us.
I interviewed him when he scored the game-winning field goal, or the game-winning goal against California Odyssey. And I looked at him, I'm like, he looks so familiar. So after I was done interviewing him, I asked him, I said, hey, like, where'd you go to elementary school at? He said Benchmark Elementary School. I told him, that's where I went to elementary school at. Yeah, and crazy enough, I actually do remember him, from his times. Yeah. This time.
Not too many guys from Cincinnati out here. I know I was calling, it was ASU against GCU at the club level, and one of the guys from GCU, he went to Talawanda, which is not where I went to, but it's like a neighboring one. It's kind of close to Cincinnati. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool that you have that connection there, like,
Yeah, when I mentioned it, I was like, it's pretty close to Cincinnati.
Yeah. What was the name of the high school?
Talawanda.
Talawanda.
It's in Oxford. It's close to where Miami University is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Miami Redhawks. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I forget. I mean, everybody hears Miami University, they automatically think, like, the U in Miami, Florida. So. Ben Roethlisberger.
90 minutes through here from Campo Verde High School, and for the second consecutive year, FC Arizona's season falls into the hands of Crossfire Redmond, this time here in Gilbert, Arizona, as Crossfire Red wins 2-1. I'm Mahirson Hassan. Joining me in the booth is Richard Gonzalez, Thomas Coltrane, and Ryan Pesesnik. Glad that you are able to tune in on this Saturday night. And guys, we talked about it at halftime. This was going to be a close game. It's going to have a lot of energy, a lot of electricity, especially from what we heard in the second half. And unfortunately for FCAZ, falls a little short.
Yeah, as I said earlier in the halftime show, things were only starting to get heated up. Crossfire Redmond came out attacking. FC as Arizona unfortunately did not have the answers today, but they kept on pushing each other, and it just heated up the whole way.
Yes, FC Arizona, they just fell short. I will say the crowd was in full effect for this match here today. It was an outstanding match.
It was, and certainly not the results that we had all hoped for, but nonetheless, another successful season for FC Arizona. And if you're head coach Aguilar, this is something that you can build off of going into next year and hopefully go a lot farther than what they did.
Absolutely. And Ryan, to go off your point, you did see a lot of guys who played for ASU men's club soccer team. The reason why I bring that up is that is also where head coach Alejandro Aguilar coaches, obviously in the spring and fall. Let's take a look at the recap. Of course, when we talked at half, it was 1-1. It was first Marco Alfonso in the 22nd minute to give FC Arizona a 1-0 lead, but it was Crossfire Red to equalize right before half, Richard Amon to do the honors, and then they were able to get the second in the 56th minute. A crazy game down the stretch, a lot of crowd noise, a lot of referee disputes on both sides, both for FC Arizona and for Crossfire Red, but in the end, it ends out in an FC Arizona loss. Ryan, I'm going to go to you because you've done the most FC Arizona games for this team this year. Just give me your thoughts on the season.
I think that for them, they actually did very well this year. They had Marco Alfonso, who obviously did not have a goal in his past 5 games, but it was great to see him have that. I think that when you look at this team, there's certainly a lot to like here. I mean, head coach Aguilar, first of all, he has just been such a positive force for the guys in the locker room. They say that they absolutely love him, and really just the brotherhood of what we have seen here is just been, it's been really special. So I think, for me personally, it's been an exciting year. It certainly is disappointing that this is the way that it had to end, but nonetheless, they should feel proud of themselves and certainly look to go and keep those high vibes rolling going into next season.
Absolutely, and again, a great season overall for FC Arizona. Unfortunately, it doesn't go in their favor. Final score here from Campo Verde High School, Crossfire Red 2, FC Arizona 1. Alongside everybody who has been a part of this production today, Kylie Morgado, our announcers, Chase Beersley and Joseph Furtado, and alongside these guys over here, Richard Gonzalez, Thomas Coltrane, and Ryan Pesesnik, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in to FC Arizona's YouTube page for FCAZ's soccer matches throughout this entire season, going back to our first broadcast against Sacramento Gold FC. Hopefully you guys will tune in down the stretch. And again, we are a student broadcast. Everybody you see here, even people running the cameras and all the production, are members and rather students of the Arizona State University. So again, we appreciate all of the effort. We appreciate all of the crew here at FC Arizona for allowing us to do these broadcasts week in, week out, and give you your favorite teams up close and personal. For now, I'm Mahirson Hassan. So long, good night, and stay safe.